Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'd like to thank all of you for your continued support, for liking the video, for subscribing to the channel, commenting and sharing the video. I like to see all of your feedback and engaging with you all in the comments. And it really keeps me motivated to keep creating this content so I'm not just talking out into the abyss. Though I do believe with my heart of hearts that one day people will find these videos and it's going to be something special. It's almost like I'm planting a seed for a tree that I'll never get to stand under, but I continue forth nevertheless. So you saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. I'm not going to waste your time. Let's get into it. This is a very important video. It is definitely a must watch for everyone, not just men or women or any. This is a must watch. I feel like this is information that, for whatever reason, culturally, we have lost. At least in the West, this is where I grew up. But I have the internet and I could go online and see that this is information that I feel fathers and elders used to pass down to the younger generation, but for whatever reason, we stopped engaging in that practice. Today, we're going to talk about mystery. Growing up, I was always a curious kid, and I think that's just par for the course with children. They are very curious, but I never had anyone sit down and explain this concept to me, even though it seems simple. Mystery. What is the mystery? And I'm using the word the mystery as a proper noun here, okay? It's not just mystery as in who ate my sandwich out of the refrigerator. Not that type of mystery. The mystery. Life's biggest secrets. And believe you me, life has many secrets. Life and reality is very magical. And I wish that someone explained just how magical life was to me when I was a child. Because growing up, nothing seemed to make sense. But once I was able to view everything with different eyes, I was able to see and accept the mystery. So, what is the mystery? The mystery is actually a sensation that you experience when you are confronted with the great beyond, when you are confronted with the unfathomable. I actually call it, I believe I coined this term, I call it the realm of forbidden thought. For example, here's a few. What is the sound of one hand clapping? A famous Buddhist koan. Or here's another one. What lies beyond infinity? What does nothing look like? You see, when you think of nothing, you're probably thinking of an all black abyss with no sound, but that is not nothing. Nothing is, I don't know if you've ever been knocked out or placed under anesthesia. Nothing is that place you go when you're under anesthesia and they tell you to count backwards from 10 and you blink your eyes and voila, it's been 3 or 4 hours later and you've had whatever procedure take place. That is the mystery. It's not the mystery of, is there alien life somewhere? Because you can kind of use your brain to extrapolate and think about what an alien creature would be like. I'm talking about the realm of forbidden thought. The mystery is actually a hardwired limit of human understanding. It is the threshold to the great beyond. What lies beyond that threshold is what is called the mystery. People have been trying to enter into this realm for as long as we have been able to. A common way that you may have encountered people trying to enter into this realm is normally through artistry. You see, the thing about this realm that I'm speaking of, or the mystery, is that the closer you get to it, everything begins to start breaking down. It's almost like the closer you get to it, everything becomes more like a dream. This is why in the time of the Greeks, there was the concept of muses. You see, because as mortal beings, we cannot willingly of our own accord enter into this realm. And as a result, the Greeks believed that we needed direct divine intervention for anything from that world to be carried over into the world that we currently live in. You encounter the mystery all the time. If you've ever tried to look at a piece of art and analyze it, I think analyzing is a bad word, but if you've ever looked at a piece of art and tried to interpret it or try to decipher the meaning behind it, you quickly find that it's almost like trying to explain a dream. This is where creative people come in, because the only thing that you can really take back from that world is poetry, literature, art, things like that. They are the only things that we have been able to bring back from that world and have it make any type of sense. Believe it or not, even in hard sciences and mathematics, the further out you go to the tip of the spear, things start to get a little wacky. A lot of the laws and things that you believe were the bedrock of everything, suddenly they stop working the closer you get to the mystery. And what I believe, this is the thing about the mystery, is that it is always there. There is, and let me explain it to you like this. No matter how deep we go into trying to find the smallest particle, there's always going to be one smaller. That is what the mystery is. What is at the end? It is a mystery. The mystery. And what I'm doing, I feel, is a lost art. It's the articulation of the mystery. You see, the snake eating its tail, the Alpha and the Omega in one, a completely perfect God, infallible human in one entity. You see, this is the mystery. If you are a Christian or you follow that path, or whatever religion you follow, they all have this embedded in it, because they are all pointing into the same direction, the mystery. And this is okay. It seems to me that this mystery is proof that there is something else out there. And for a lot of people, they are able to go about their lives. They have a normal life, friends, family, the whole nine yards. But for other people, they are drawn to the mystery almost like a moth to a flame. It's almost like if you've ever stared at a campfire, it hypnotizes you. Or if you've ever stared at the waves crashing on shore, some people can just sit there and look at the waves crash over for hours. It completely captivates some people. And why this is so, I have no idea. But I can tell you that I'm one of these people. History is filled with many of these kinds of people. And I'm trying to find other people like me, which is why I am using the platform of the internet and the current internet library of YouTube to find the others. Because I know for certain that I can't be alone in having this type of life experience. Ever since I was a child, I have always been just drawn to this thing that I call the mystery. And the older that I get, I feel that the closer I become to it, and I begin to see it everywhere. This is how the mystery is why poetry and any art makes sense. That's the reason why art makes sense, because I believe creativity comes from the mystery. The human being, for whatever reason, has this ability to understand that there is a mystery. You see, this is where creative people come in, as I've said, because using sterile language or sterile scientific language, it's just ones and zeros. There can't be one and zero simultaneously. But in the realm of creativity, you can have you can be reading a piece of literature and they describe someone as an intelligent fool, which is essentially a one and zero combined, and it will make complete sense to you. And entire religious and spiritual institutions have been built upon this very concept. This is why many of these spiritual texts are mostly artistic. They are written as poetry, literally. They're written as the book of Psalms is literally music and poetry that we have taken and given it enormous significance for the story of mankind. This inclination towards the mystery, this inclination has always been there. And I even hesitate to give it a name. As I'm recording this video, it's actually coming to my mind about how in the Tao Te Ching, the Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. The mystery is unnameable. The mystery is unknowable. But the catch is, you know that it is there, but for whatever reason, we have not been allowed to know it. And whatever religion or whatever practice you choose to follow, it's important to realize that they are all pointing to the same direction. The problem with people in these religious institutions today, it's almost like, when you have a baby and you're trying to point to something to get the baby to look at where you're pointing. The baby never looks at where you're pointing. The baby always looks at your hand. Don't you see where I'm going with this? This is the same thing that people do at these religious institutions. They're focusing on the institution and not to where it's pointing. The direction that it's pointing, that is your own personal adventure. And the mystery is for you to have your own personal relationship with. Don't you see? Don't you think that for 1 second that you are simply here randomly executing out all of your own biological processes? That is essentially what every spiritual practice is pointing to. Don't you for 1 second think that you're just here as the result of whatever sperm and egg coming together randomly, and you are just here executing your biological processes, and it's over. For you to have this mentality, you would have to be so uncreative and so cut off from what it means to be a human being that it might not even be fair to call you one. I guess what I'm ultimately trying to say with trying to explain this concept of the mystery to you is there are forces at work that are completely outside of your scope of comprehension. Notice I chose those words carefully, and I chose them for a reason. They are beyond the scope of your comprehension. Not that they are incomprehensible or incomprehensible, however you say it. You can't even think to think of them. They are outside of your scope of imagination. You understand what I'm telling you? It's not that I'm trying to get you to take two impossible concepts that you know and mix them together. These are concepts that you have no concept of. I guess I kind of heard it explained like this. The truth isn't stranger than you suppose. The truth is stranger than you can suppose. But I don't know. I'm just a guy ratting on the internet. Make sure y'all watch my old videos. I wish I had someone to explain this stuff to me when I was younger so I could kind of have a grasp on things as I grew up and began to get closer to this mystery, as I said. But like the video, comment, subscribe. Man, y'all take care and have a blessed day.